But Danielle, you are going to be going first tonight. So, oh my gosh, I will not get used to that. Sorry if you guys haven't heard that. It's a new update now. So it's fine. We're just going to move past it. So, Danielle, you are more than welcome to unmute yourself and you can go ahead and begin. Just introduce yourself to us. Tell us a little bit about who you are, and then we will get started from there.
Hi, everybody. That totally freaked me out, by the way. I have yet to hear that. So it totally freaked me out. I was like, who is talking? Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. I feel like I'm kind of a hot mess tonight, so just roll with it, okay? I have been in this business for 7.5 years. I feel like I'm like so old. So let me tell you a quick story. With me and how I got started. I was a super skeptic, you guys, like beyond skeptic. I blocked people that did it works. Like I was a silent hater. Like I was never like mean or anything, but I was like, yeah, okay, you gonna make all that money. And like those wraps probably don't work, but like you keep wearing them. Like it was just one of those things. So I was like kind of like a silent hater. And then after I blocked him, it was kind of like, but like what if it really does work? But if they could do it, like I could do it. And then I kind of like got it in my own head, and I was like, all right, fine, I'm going to prove that I can do it. So it was really like a game with me, and I really got started. And then I had my own little hater clan, and then I was like, all right, game on. I'm going to prove to you that I do know what I'm doing. And I was a teacher. I have 2 master's degrees, and people were like, you're stupid for doing this. Like you have 2 master's degrees. What are you doing? And I'm like, chill out for a second. I'm just doing this to make some extra money to pay for my wedding. Like I'm going to quit in like 5 months. So hold like your fort for a second. And you guys, I reached diamond in 7 months, the month before our wedding. So it was really good for me to have that timeline, because I was like, oh, game on. Like I'm going to reach this goal before our wedding. And you guys, I did. And then after that, it was like, well, like I can't quit. Like, like what am I going to do? So I actually had a couple months there where I was trying to figure out like my why. And then I got pregnant, and it was like, oh, game on. Now I know my why. I want to actually be a stay-at-home mom, because I lived in Arizona at the time. I wasn't living near any family. So I was like, I want my kid to stay home with me. So I ended up turning it up a notch. Guys, I was 8 months pregnant. Now, first of all, for your first pregnancy, everything hurts and everything's tired. Okay. So I was like so struggling. Like I was so tired. But you guys, 8 months pregnant, I promoted to double diamond. I promoted my husband's business to diamond, walked away with a $50,000 bonus. And I was like, see ya, went on maternity leave, and I still haven't gone back. And that right there was like such a huge turning point in my business. So I cannot stress enough how important it is to have a why, because I'm telling you, if you even today, now I have 3 kids. You guys, if you even sat here and told me like your kid's gonna go in daycare, I'd be like, I literally, you can cut my leg off before that happens. Like you have to have such a strong why, because I'm telling you, it drove me. Like I woke up early, I went to bed late, I reached my goals. I didn't care what I had to do. And you know what? I communicated with the people that I lived with. I communicated with my friends, like, sorry, I'm working really hard this month. Like we'll go get pedicures next month. So, when you have that why and when you have those goals in front of you, like nothing is going to stand in your way. And the thing that I tell myself now is look at your why. Like for me, obviously it's my kids. Look at your why and tell them they're not worth it. And I am telling you, guys, I am tired. There's days where I am exhausted. 3 kids, working from home. It's like, I'm crazy tired. But imagine looking at your kids and saying you're not worth it. So for me, that's just the thing that keeps driving me, is telling them that they're not worth it. Like I will do whatever I have to do to reach my goal. And now it's about like helping my team reach their goals. And I was in debt over $100,000 because of my student loans, and I had some credit card debt, but it was mainly the student loans. And that was something I started making like, and as a teacher, I lived in like this little bubble, and it was like a $2,000 month bubble. And I started making like $6,000 a month. $8,000 a month, $10,000 a month. And I was like, oh my God, like, what am I supposed to do with this money? So I was like, okay, like get smart about it and start paying off. So we're completely debt free. And that was probably one of the best decisions that I ever made. And the funny thing is that I literally started to make $500 a month. Like I just wanted to pay for an open bar at a wedding. So never give up on somebody that just wants to make $500 a month, because once they catch that vision, you guys, and they see like, oh my gosh, like I've got $100,000 in debt, like game on, like I'm going to pay that off. Once they start to see, that, and if you haven't caught that vision, guys, stay close to the fire, stay plugged in with like people like this, so that you guys can hear stories and know like, oh my God, she was a teacher. Like she lived in that bubble that I'm living in now. I need to follow her. So follow people and follow their stories. So anyways, that's kind of the long story short of my story, but I'm going to give you guys some tips for closing out end of month. And I do have like a picture that I will share with the leaders in that group chat. So I'll kind of share that with you guys as well. But the first thing, take notes. I want you to write this stuff down. There's just a few things. Take notes. Gummies challenge. Now you can make this whatever product you want it to be. But for me, I made it all about the gummies. Okay. You're going to post about your gummies every day. Okay. You're going to post about them every day. You're going to put it up in your stories every single day. You're going to show your face in your stories every single day. And you're going to talk about the gummies. That's three places that you're going to really talk about your gummies. Now, feel free to do TikTok. And for me, I do Instagram, and then I just link it over to Facebook. Facebook is like 95% of my business. You do however you want to do this, but do it for 30 days. Okay. I did this with my team, and we ended up bringing in, personally for me, it was like 1 to 2, if not 3 customers a day. Okay. Now you have to keep track of these people that are commenting and viewing your story. And here's the trick here. You're going to have people that are viewing your story and not taking your polls. You're going to message all of them, and you're just going to say, hey, thanks so much for the love on my story. Can I send you some more information on the gummies? Now, I'm sure you guys already have verbiage because everybody has boards, but if you're like, no, I want to hear what you do, I'm more than happy to share it. It's super basic, but it just, hey, thanks so much for the love on my story. Can I send you some more information? They say yes. You send them the information on the gummies. Does that sound like something you would like to try? They say yes. You send them the price. Pretty basic. So that's the gummies challenge. And I absolutely swear by that. That is something that is really good to push for volume. For me personally, I follow up on, I do green light messaging. I feel like that's the number one way I'm going to get somebody to sign up. If you don't know what green light messaging is, it's hitting up people that are active online on Facebook, and messaging them and following up with them. And for me, it's mostly following up. It's not like, hey, how are you? Would you like to be a product model? Most likely for me, I've talked to them before. So it's a follow-up message. So make it however you want. But you guys, you're literally hitting people up that have their phone in front of their face. And for me, that's usually like after dinner time or once the kids go to bed. That's like the number one time I have a lot of people online. The number one follow-up that I will do is, hey, I just got the kids to bed. I'm getting in a couple orders, wanted to follow up with you. Like I always blame it on my kids. And honestly, I'll be like nursing the baby, and maybe the other 2 kids are watching a movie, and I'm still like, hey, just got the kids to bed. Like it's okay. Just use it because it works for me, honestly. And I'll do it during nap time too. I'll say, hey, just got the kids down for a nap, blah, 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 blah. And honestly, a lot of people follow me because of my kids. So they're like, oh my God, and they're so cute, by the way. Like they'll respond to me just to tell me my kids are cute. So I always throw my kids out there. Sorry. Using boards obviously is so huge. I personally use Pocket List for to keep track of all my potentials. I have 3 kids. My life is insane. My life is always on the go. My kids will draw all over everything. So I can't have like notepads. I used to have notepads for years, but that doesn't work for me right now in this season of my life. So for me, I use the app Pocket List. And I just keep track of everybody there, and I create basically lists of people, like gummies. As soon as the gummies came out, I created a folder of gummies, and everybody goes in there. So it's a great way for me to just pull up Pocket List. And to be honest, I actually pull it up on my iPad and I stand it up, and then I just like message people on my computer or message people on my phone that way. So I'm not using my phone and then going back. Does that make sense? So I just like my iPad being up and using it that way. Okay. this is huge, and I will share this with you guys, but I absolutely swear by this. I did a Zoom. I can't take full credit. I did a Zoom with Kristen Kirkendall. And then the next week, I did one with Amanda Busher. And I combined things that they both said that was a total game changer for me. Now, keep in mind, I have 3 kids. We just moved across the country in a new house a few months ago. Like, my life has been so crazy. And I needed something to really help me get like back on track and get focused, and like a checklist. So this is called the 30-day hard challenge. Now, for me, I just do it every single day. I take 1 day off a week. I've been in this business for 7.5 years, you guys. I have never had a take a Sabbath. Okay. So this has been so huge for me because personally, having a family of 5, I need to take that day off. It's actually like really good for my heart and my soul and everything. And it makes me work hard throughout the whole week, so I actually earn it. So I'll share it with you guys, but basically what it is it's every day, and it's getting up 5 hosts to post. It's sending out a minimum of 5 messages, showing your face on stories, 1 TikTok or reel, post on your Facebook wall or Instagram feed, follow 50 people on Instagram or Facebook, self-development, charting, and then following up with people, green light messaging. I am telling you, if you do that every single day, your business will boom. Hear me when I say that. Guys, take on the 30-day challenge. And I'm telling you right now, if you do the 30-day hard challenge, you're going to want to keep doing it. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? My life is crazy. My husband's leaving for 35 days tomorrow. And I'm like, I didn't do it today. It's okay. Like, give yourself grace every now and again. But then Amanda Busher, she enrolls, she's an ambassador. She enrolls 20 to 25 distributors a month. And she said how she does it is the business challenge. So basically what she does is she posts in her business, she posts a business story every day. She does a business post every day. And then she messages all those people. So you're in people's messengers a lot. Okay. And Jade Hooper, honestly, she says 80% of your business has to be messaging people on a daily basis. So for me, some of this is like literally takes 2 seconds, but some of it's like really hard. So the parts that are really hard take actual like brain activity. I have to actually like stop and sit down and like think about it, is the messaging. So I can follow anybody on Instagram. I can do that in like 2 seconds. Host to post takes a little bit. Self-development is actually hard for me because I feel like I run around with my head cut off all day. So I have to be more intentional with things like that. Posting on my Facebook, that's a no-brainer for me. Like, I do that, and that's an easy check mark. So you're going to have things that are easy. You're going to have things that are hard, but I'm going to tell you, as you do this, you're going to figure out which of those things are actually kind of hard. And I struggled. I was doing everything so awesome, but I was struggling so much with host to post. I was like, why am I struggling with host to post? What am I doing wrong? And I went to my push to pres chat, and I was like, all right, you guys, I'm going to put myself out there and be vulnerable. Like, I'm struggling with host to post. What am I doing wrong? Can you guys help me? And somebody was like, Amy Spence just did a Zoom last night. You have to see it. And I was like, done, send me it. Like, I'm all over it. I watched it, and it totally changed it for me. And from that day on, it's like, I get my 5 host to post up every single day. Obviously this week's been a little off for me, but I will send this to the leaders so that you guys can see this, but I absolutely swear by this. And if you do it for 30 days, I promise you that it will change your business. It will boom your business. And then you're not going to want to stop doing it because it's going to be so incredible. So, all right, let me see if I had anything else. I may have had one more. Oh, upselling. Upselling is, guys, when I went diamond, I didn't even know what upselling was. I remember hearing Ashley Mayfield talk about upselling, and I was like, okay, like, I kind of feel rude asking people to pay more. Like that, I remember like me being in the business for like 4 or 5 years. I remember that was my mindset when I heard her talk about upselling. And now I'm like, are you kidding me? That's absolutely absurd. I went diamond, and I think I had all these people with like one product. So for us now, everything is upselling. So don't ever miss an opportunity to upsell. And now we have boards. So you're using verbiage of other people that it's working for. So make sure that you have your hands on that. But personally for me, I typically do gummies. right now, gummies, and then I'll upsell with Skinny Brew and TFX. I just totally like, I have like a new way of making this Skinny Brew and it totally changed my entire life. Guys, almond milk, mix the Skinny Brew, add some syrup. I have salted caramel syrup, put it over ice. I don't do coffee and I don't even like iced coffee. It is a dessert. So I've been posting about that for like not even 1 week and people are like, what are you drinking? Like it's amazing. So right now I'm like, okay, I'm all about samples and then the Skinny Brew. And then I'm going to upsell them with the gummies and the TFX. So always, always, always upsell. It's like never miss an opportunity to present the business to somebody, never miss the opportunity to upsell somebody. So that's all I have to share. Sorry, I know I kind of rambled a lot. So do you have any questions? Do you want me to clarify anything? And I will send you guys the 30-day hard challenge so that you guys have that on hand.
Yeah, I was literally taking so many notes. I seriously love everything you had to say. One thing I will say, I have been doing just this is totally kind of off topic. I've been doing green light messaging and I didn't know if like I was doing it the right way. And you just like clarified that I was doing it right. And I was like, oh my gosh, because I was like, I've been like messaging and following up with people, but like, is this what I'm supposed to do? So if any of you guys are doubting things, it's not just you. I still have those thoughts too. But one thing I did kind of want to ask about, where was it? Okay, so you were talking about it was the gummies challenge or the product that you were
Mhm.
talking about. So you're posting about them daily. Is that like just to Facebook? Do you mean just like a post about them a day?
Yep, Facebook is what I do.
Okay, and then you just show your face, and then that's just 3 things per day. Okay, and then sorry, I'm just making sure I got that down
No,
right.
you're good.
That was where I was just messing up. Okay, cool. And then you just message the people that view your story about said product.
Yeah, yeah. And try to, for me, it's like try to get creative with the posts. You don't always want to like, you know, you don't always want it to be like this right in their face. You know what I mean? Like get creative with it. And then here's the fun part. You're going to actually see what kind of posts take off for you. Okay. So this doesn't really work that well for me. Okay. This in my hand doesn't really work that well for me. This with the gummies in my hand blows up. Okay. So you're going to see like what kind of stuff. So you'll never see me post like a selfie like this unless it's in, like my stories, but like it's in my hand or in my hand with like my kids in the background or my pool in the background. Okay. So those kinds of things. So you're posting about it for 30 days. You want to be creative with how you're doing it. And then don't be afraid to post it without a picture. You know what I mean? Like and I have a ton in my boards, but like basically, would you take 2 gummies a day to help slim your midsection or, you know what I mean? Whatever, stuff like that. Don't be afraid to post that, but without without the picture. So get creative.
For sure. And I love the other thing you said just about like finding kind of your products. Like you can tell that like you like gummies, Skinny Brew, and TFX. And I love that because those are my favorites too. So that kind of goes for like any of them. Just find like those things for you. Like for me, it's our coffee. Like I mean, I could live off our gummies too, but I drink that coffee religiously every single day. I talk about it every single day. So what do I sell the most of?
Mm-hmm.
Coffee, so just talk about that. And I know one thing that my team did with the 5 customer challenge that we have right now is talking about like coffee with friends, so doing like drinking coffee with your friends, and that was something that we did to try to just change it up. It's just like make something new because then it's exciting to you, and that's what's going to get everyone else excited and into it as well, and like catching on to that vision of yours.
Yeah.
I just love that you said that. It's just figuring out like those things for you, and I don't know, I just love that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I do have one question, and everybody, I want you guys to turn your cameras on real quick. And I know that like I'm a hot mess. I don't have hair, makeup done or anything, but I have one question and I want to see some faces. Who is like super afraid to like be in your stories doing a video? Like, I want you to be honest. If you're like, okay, Danielle, like I hear you with this 30-day hard challenge, but like the part where like show your face in the stories, like I might give myself grace on that one and skip that one. Like, be honest with me. Raise your hand if you're like, that kind of terrifies me. All right. I've got a couple. Okay. So here's the thing, you guys. I'm a hot mess. Look at me, how I am right now. Okay. I've been like this all day. If you go look at my story earlier, you're going to see a cute little filter on it that makes me look a little bit better than what I probably am right now. Okay. Use Instagram, put a filter on, and just have fun with it. Okay. And I promise you that once you start to step outside your comfort zone a little bit, you're going to find a new comfort zone. And for me, when I'm like, okay, I'm really like a hot mess, like I will put Izzy on my hip, okay, because she's really cute. And then everyone's going to look at her anyways. They're not even going to look at me, okay? So just step outside your comfort zone and try it. And I promise you, if you do this, if you truly do this for 30 days, no excuses. And you guys remember, you get 1 day off a week. I'm giving you 1 full day off a week. And for me, it's like, that's really hard. But I make sure I put my phone down. I actually took a nap one time, and like, I don't take naps, but it's good for you to do those kinds of things. So I promise you, if I can leave you with anything, do this for 30 days and then message me or message your leader in here and let us know like your takeaway from it, because I promise you, you're not going to want to stop doing this once you start doing it. It's amazing. All right, I'm done.
I am so excited for that. And I just got tears in my eyes laughing at what you said about taking a nap. Because I was like, girl, I feel you. Like, right? I took a nap on my Sabbath and I'm like, who am I? Who is this woman? Exactly. So I understand. But I am definitely excited for that checklist. And I know you have to hop off because you have family things going on. But if you think of anything else, definitely just text me or text us in that chat and stuff too. But I appreciate you so much for hopping on and sharing this. Thank you so, so much. I am so excited. And
thanks for having me on.
Of course, thank you. You should be able to unmute yourself, Tavia, and if you could also just share your story, and then we'll just go into your tips. That would be awesome.
Yes. Hi, guys. I have to shout out my girl, Sarai. She's on. She's watching me. She's going to be a rising rap star. So, hey, girl. All right, guys. So my name is Tavia, and thank you so much for having me on. And Danielle, you're amazing. Before you hop off, sister, I already stole that picture from your folder. I was on to you. I was like, you know what? I got you. So I already got it. But okay, guys. So let me tell you my story. So many of my team that's on here knows this, but so I've been in the business for 5.5 years. I am a nurse practitioner by trade. I love blood. I love guts. I was like, oh, I need it all, but I loved helping people, right? It was almost as if like I was there for them. I was there for them in a really difficult time, you know, and I love the thrill of just, you know, like, I don't know, in the moment stuff. So I had felt, you guys, I was totally unplugged from social media. Does anyone unplug from social media? Like I started this business. I had no Facebook, no Instagram, no Twitter, whatever they called it, whatever. I didn't have any of it. And I was like approached by this nurse and I was like, sis, okay. Right. I didn't go to school for 7 years and then some to get my master's degree for you to tell me that I really didn't need it. Like I could make the same amount of money. What are you talking about? Right. So little offended, but I was like, right. Kind of like, it kind of intrigues you a little bit. You kind of want to like see like, what is she doing? You want to stalk them. Like, you know, what are you doing? Like, is it really working for you? So needless to say, you guys, I just had my 3rd son. And I was overweight. I was unhappy, even though I had a good paying job. We were, it was like a hamster wheel. We were paying the bills, but there was nothing left over. Does anyone have any more month-end money? You're like, okay, I'm at the end of the month. Where the heck, like, is that the number that's left in my checking? What's happening? Right. So to go on a family vacation, to save for whatever, to upgrade it to a new car, to do all those things it was a dream. It would be nice, but it never really happened. Right. And it was devastating because I thought that I had done everything the way that I was supposed to do it. Right. Like you go to school, you go to college, you do all the things, you get all the debt, and then you're supposed to make so much money. And it's such a bold lie. But you guys, this nurse approached me and I was working my 2nd job. It was 7 p.m. to 3 a. And I was doing nurse triage at home. So all of a sudden I started thinking about it. I had this moment in my kitchen where I legit broke down. Who had a breakdown moment before you said yes to this business? I was a hot mess express, the snot, the crying. I was like, like, you know, like praying, screaming, you know, all these things because I was so unhappy and I just didn't know how to get out of it. It was a very dark time in the fact that like, if I have to keep going, I'm going to keep going. But if there's a different direction, please present it to me. And then I realized in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, but this nurse approached me, right? How like courageous of them to even want to approach me and ask me about this opportunity, especially given the fact that there's some people, how many of you judge some people that you're like, oh no, she doesn't need it. She's super pretty. She's got all the things. She doesn't need it, right? Or you're super nervous to ask somebody, and because you think they have it all together, and they're probably the most messed up ones. Like, you just never know, right? So at 3 a.m. in the morning, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try a wrap. I kid you not. I became a customer that night. I signed up. I got my wraps in, you guys. I was on the second wrap, and I was like, you know what? I was like, this kind of worked, but I don't want to tell her, right? Because then I'm going to feel stupid. So I was like, okay, like, tell me a little bit more about it. So I'm a little green. I never do things that are like on the fly. So when I was like thinking about this, my wheels started turning, because what I started to do was envision if my life in fact could be different. I wasn't afraid of the work that it was going to take. I didn't think that I would go sign up, boom, overnight I was going to make $1 million. Like, that was never a thought that crossed my mind, nor was it ever a want. I didn't want to quit my job. I actually liked what I did. Right. And so it was really just more to, I want to quit my second job. I was literally working 7 days a week. I was on call. When you're on call for trauma, you typically get called. And so I would always have to go in. You have to be an hour within the facility. So I couldn't go that far. I couldn't go to birthdays. I couldn't go to do a lot of sporting events. And so it would be a lot of like watching my kids through like FaceTime. And I was tired. I was like, oh, if I could just quit my second job, like, all right, let's do this. So again, like a week and a half after being a customer, I log in and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do it. And I signed up for a business, told my husband the next morning, by the way, we are now business owners. I have no idea what I'm doing. I got to go to work. I'll see you in 12 hours. Right. So that was really the way that it started. I'm super honest. And I wanted to, and this is another honest statement. I wanted to quit every other day, because here's why. I'm gonna tell you why. Again, I wasn't afraid of the work. What I didn't like was the vulnerability that it was unconsciously causing me, because I had to get on social media. I started friending people from high school. And if y'all have ever done that, that is not always the best thing to do, right? So then I moved and gravitated towards college and above, and that was a whole lot better. But I had no idea what I was doing. I was on Facebook, and Facebook, I found out, was like old, and I didn't even have Instagram. So I was really like questioning, okay, I know what work it's going to take, but I have no idea what I'm doing. And so I just like fumbled every single day, you guys. I felt like I was like just tripping over my feet. But I also knew that my kids, my 3 boys, I have 3 boys, that my kids were worth it. And so I just kept going, you guys. I got up every single day. It was a conscious, difficult decision I would make every single day to not quit. And I didn't have self-development in the beginning. I wish I did. I didn't really honestly learn self-development until about 2.5 years. I think it was double, 2 years into the business. And I realized, oh my gosh, like my mind is actually extremely weak. No wonder why I wanted to quit. And so I don't really know the honest answer to what kept me going, but I just did. And I knew that I had come this far, and I wasn't going to allow the people that joined me to be like, oh, well, yeah, this girl got me on board and now she quit. Like, that was not something that I ever wanted to be remembered for. Okay. So I just kept going. So needless to say, that's kind of my story. We are Triple Diamond. I have some of my amazing team on here. And we're just excited for what this year is going to bring. Like, and I know it's almost halfway through. It's not crazy. It's halfway through. So that's kind of my story in a nutshell. I don't want to dwell too far in that, but you want me just to go into my topics? All right, let's do it. So this is really like improving a whole lot, because I tend to do that. So stop me if you want me to explain. I'm going to go back to your questions because I want to read them. Okay. So what product post grabbed the most enrollments? So I think pretty much along the lines of what Danielle said. Here's what I have learned. What I've learned is posting about products that are either eye-catching or get you quick results are one of the best things you can do. For example, what about a wrap? You typically, for the majority of people, can see results in 45 minutes. That is something very quick, and it's very sudden. Now, can I post HSN in 45 minutes? What result am I going to have for HSN in 45 minutes? Not to say that it doesn't work, but at month end, when you're really trying to grind and push, you either go with something that the masses want, like slimming gummies, right? You want to get snatched, sis, you need these gummies, okay? Or you want to go with something that can give you quick results. Like I have, Yatika's on here. You guys, she posted about the wraps. She went in her stories about the wraps. belly and all. Sometimes it's going to take a little bit of vulnerability for you to get rewarded. And no, does anyone want to get on there and show theirs? Absolutely not, right? But do you want to promote? Do you want to increase your paycheck, right? Do you want to do all the things? And so I think, you kind of have to weigh the pros with the cons, right? And she's blowing up with selling samples of skinny wraps and one-time orders, you guys. So I think doing those quick products that can give you quick results, 2-day cleanse, skinny wraps, those are something that can appeal to the masses. And think about the time of year you're in. You're in heading into summer, that's short season, that's defining gel, that's skinny wraps, that's wanting to get snatched for that 2-piece that you want to wear. What about the crop tops, right? Okay, everyone wears leggings year round, so you really can't use that because I wear leggings year round. So, go with something else. But I mean, at the end of the day, you kind of have to figure out, okay, if I'm in the position of someone wanting to purchase something, what am I looking for? You've got to figure out what keeps them up at night? What is so heavy on them? Like, I swear to you, these last 10 pounds are killing me. And it's right in my midsection, right? So maybe whenever you're getting on and talking about the wraps in your stories, start talking about pain points for people. For a second, when you're in your stories, I tend to want to speak to one specific person. Maybe I'm talking to that mom who just had a baby and she still has a lot of weight she's carrying in her lower belly. So what am I going to talk about? Maybe I'm going to specifically address that area, because if that person is watching, guess what? She's going to comment. She's going to message me. She's going to continue watching me, right? And then another thing that Danielle said that was a really good idea, especially month end, is people that are viewing your stories, especially if you see consistency, they're watching you. They want to know what you're doing. They're nosy as heck, right? And it is no skin off your nose to be like, hey sis, thanks so much for the social love. I see you watch my stories. Girl, I'm a hot mess. Like I literally, this is like my script. I'm a hot mess most of the time, but girl, are you interested in trying these wraps? You will love them. Like that's literally how I talk to everybody. If you don't say girl, put it for something else. But that's how I speak to everyone. I thank them for the social love. But if you're viewing my stories, if you're commenting on my posts, if you're liking my reels, all the things, then you are in my network. So I feel that I can message you and I'm not going to feel awkward, or it's not going to be like this weird moment, right? So, and the people that I'm talking about, the people that you consistently see, don't be afraid to message them. Don't be afraid to send that message to them and let them know that you appreciate them, and then see if they're interested, because I kid you not, there are so many people that will never vote in your poll. How many of you guys put polls in your stories and you're like, sweet Jesus, like nobody ever votes in my poll, but I don't even know why I put them, but like nobody votes, right? Okay. That's normal. Did you not know? Like that's kind of normal, just so you know. So don't feel bad about yourself. But again, the reason why is sometimes like people would rather be asked than to tell you that they need something. So we've got to be a little bit more forward and ask them. Okay. So we can't expect them to want to always come to us. And I don't care how long you've been in the business, how much of a mass enroller you are. I kid you not. Most of the time we are asking versus people coming to us, right? It'd be great if they just dropped in our lap, but that's not how it works. Okay. So I kind of talked about, post to post. So I do the Amy Spence method too. And it was one of the things that, and I think a lot of us can relate. You ever have a host to post and you're just like, I'm doing the host to post and nobody's commenting, or you do the host to post on your page and like the same, like 3 random people like comment and you're like, okay, sis, like maybe not. I'm not going to give you the post again because last time I gave it to you, it like was a dud. And so I don't really want to waste my time. Right. You have those same people and how do you get beyond that? Right? How do you expand? And one of the things that Amy Spence talks about, if you don't know, really fast, it is really a funnel. Think about your Facebook page, your Instagram, it's a funnel. And what you want to do is you want to get so much traction to your page and that people will see what your stories are. People will see what you're posting about. So in host to post, in a sense, can kind of shift from product related to network related. And when you get people into your network, then you have more of an opportunity to appeal to the masses by what you're posting. And then you want to get more creative. You want to hold the gummies in your hand. You like Danielle said, the day and age of taking a picture with a selfie and holding the coffee thinking that's going to get 10 customers, we're kind of past that, right? So you do have to be creative. And I think that for me has helped a lot with increasing the views on my stories, which increases the amount of people that I get to message every day when I do make my coffee. right? So even though I'm doing host a post for mostly the giveaway, towards the end of the month, I'll change it up and I'll do like the wrap host a post has been really effective for me. And the gummies, those two hit really, really well. And I do the wraps with pictures. It's a before and after picture. I think if you have an opportunity to do a host a post with a before and after picture, it can hit really, really big, or do a host a post on your own page. That can go really big too. So that is what has helped me increase the views to my story, which increases the people that I can comment or message to. And it increases the people liking my page, like my posts whenever I do post. And now I'm getting random people that are commenting when I do post about the gummies, when I do post about the business, when I do post about whatever, right? So that's a really a huge shift in my business. Let's see here. Do you enroll from stories? Yes, but I would say honestly, like I'm not a pro just enrolling with people voting on a poll and enrolling them. No. I have to message too. And sometimes it'll take a couple conversations, but I'm a huge fan of voice messaging, especially after I go back and forth with the first two messages. They say that they're interested. Then I like to get on there and voice message. I like to say, oh my gosh, girl, I'm so stinking excited for you. Send me your cell phone number. I'm going to hook you up right now. I got another order I'm placing. I'll get yours in too. I already almost in a sense, like consider that they're going to purchase, even though after that moment they may say, well, I don't get paid till Friday. That's okay, girl. What time works on Friday? I'll like hit you up then and we'll like get your order in. Like I it's a very it doesn't have to take a lot of time. Right. And then I use my planner. So I use my planner. I write down every single night before I go to bed. I go through my messenger. I go through my Instagram. I write down names of people. Here's the thing. There's a difference between a hot potential and a cold potential. If you're messaging someone and they don't message you back, that's cold, sis. That's not even a potential, right? But if you message someone and they message you back and you're kind of like, okay, like, cool, she might be interested. That is a potential that you want to keep on your radar. You want to, engage with them. You want to follow up with them, right? And even if it's not like that day, it could be the next day or that Friday or however you guys do your follow-up method. But I only write hot potentials in my planner because if I used to do all of it and it used to confuse me, it's too much. I can't keep up with it. So I will only go through my messenger for people that actually respond back to me. Okay. That's kind of how I do it. So, what else? Let's see here. I said follow-ups. And another thing too, don't underestimate what your current customers can do. So if you've got current customers that want to do add-on orders, you guys, volume can come from anywhere. Stop thinking that it only has to be new volume. Go message your current customers. In fact, why don't you pull up the Connect app? That's a really good resource for those of you that have used it. If you haven't, here's a little tip for you. When you're in month end, do not, and I repeat, do not adopt a new habit in month end. That is the last time and the last thing you need to be consumed and worried about because it's too much. It can overwhelm you, right? Like I'm like, I need to do TikTok and I need to do reels. And it's like the 26th. Girl, what are you doing? Like, no, like you need to do with what works, stick with that, and then move to the next one the next month, right? Don't stress yourself out. When you tend to stress yourself out, it's like all of it falls, right? You just feel like I just dropped all the balls. So like now I don't even know what to do. But I think that as far as the follow-up portion, when I write it in my book, I don't have specific days I follow up. Every single day, I go back to the previous day, unless they've given me a date. And I'm like, hey girl, I just wanted to check in with you. I've got another order that I'm placing. I didn't know if you were ready to get yours in. And I've never, if people block me, they block me. They were going to block me anyway. But I've never really gotten anything nasty. Sometimes am I left on red? Absolutely. And then after 2 messages, I'll send the, hey girl, I'm so sorry. Did I say anything to offend you? I hope I didn't. Girl, that gets them usually 100% of the time. They'd be like, oh my God, no, like I just didn't have the money. Okay, cool. Like I know I didn't offend you. That's not the point, right? The point is that you're working my nerves and I need to either get you moved to this list or keep you on this list. Like, let's be real, right? So I really like to kind of close things. You ever like feel like you have so many open-ended conversations, you don't know, well, how did it end? Do I follow up with you? Like, this is awkward. Like, I don't know what's happening. Right. So I really like a definitive answer at the end of my conversations. I like to close, and I'm not saying close as an enrollment. I'm saying close as in I have a date. You block me, you enroll with me, right? Like I have something tangible that I can work from that I feel good about that conversation. So that's kind of my follow-up. And then, yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. Is there anything else that I missed?
I mean,
Or what
I don't,
questions do you have?
yeah, I just kind of had questions, honestly. That was seriously
Go for
so
it.
good. I love everything that you said. The one thing I did have a question for though, I don't know if that came out right. Sorry, it didn't sound right coming out. But what tips would you have just on like month end mindset? Because like, let's just be honest. There's people that woke up today very happy with what eSuite looked like, and there are people that are not happy, and like we get that. So,
Yeah.
what would you say to each person? I guess really.
Well, I would say, and I do say this a lot, 'cause I've been there, right? I mean, but here's the thing that I think you need to remember is there's two sides to this. One, you can wake up and be really ticked off at that number. And a lot of times when we're ticked off at the number, it's a reflection of the work we did not do. And I think that that's a really difficult thing to accept, right? Like, wow, like I really thought it would be higher. Did you really think it would be higher? Or do you kind of feel some sort of way because you really didn't show up until today and you expected it to be higher? You prayed for it to be higher and it wasn't higher, right? So, and you got to think too, when we're working in this business, we're usually 30 to 60 days behind, right? So like it wasn't necessarily your inaction this month. It could have been the inaction from last month or the month prior to that, right? And it led to this downward trend that got you to today. So I think if you woke up and you're kind of like in a negative headspace about it, I think you got to meet yourself where you are. I think you have to call a spade because I think it's healthy to do that, but I also don't think it's good to dwell in it. And I think that how you do anything is how you do everything. You either have to make a decision in that moment to move on. Do I grow from this? Do I get better? Is my team worth it? Is my family worth it? I got to kick it into gear. I know what to do. I just have to do it. Right. I don't think when we get on these Zooms, I think sometimes we're like, oh, can I get that? Can I get that? And that's great because I used to be that too. But here's the thing. I really and truly always thought that there was this special handbook, like people, like only certain people had it. Like, like you're just not sharing it with me. That's fine. You're not sharing it, but I know you have something that I don't have. Right. But it's really, honestly, we don't, right? We don't. And I think it's the ability to increase the amount of self-discipline that you have. And the people that are the most successful have the most self-discipline. And you got to ask yourself, I actually posted it today. You got to ask yourself, like when you are going for month end, you have to anticipate that adversity is going to come, right? You have to. Like, I have never met anyone who's ever been unscathed trying to go for a promotion, trying to increase their paycheck. It always happens. And I think that you have to ask one question. You want to be successful? Great. So everybody does. But how much adversity are you willing to handle, right? And maybe the person next to you that joined at the same time as you, they were willing to handle more than you. It doesn't make you a bad person, but you have to decide in that moment is if you're wanting to level up to a new promotion that's going to take a new level of you. And if you're not willing to give that new level of you, then you cannot complain about what you're seeing in eSuite, right? And I think that's my red, but it's the truth, because I think we tend to kind of sugarcoat it even in our own heads so that we don't feel as bad about it. But it's like, oh no, sis, like you either want this or you don't. And I think when you start to look at your business as a whole, coming from a place of like, this isn't just affecting me. This isn't just my paycheck. I've got other women under me. I've got other team members that are affected by this. And if mine is affected, what's theirs? And if they're in a negative headspace, how long are they going to stay with me? And if they don't stay with me, then I'm going to be even worse off. And I think that, like the pace of the leader is the pace of the pack. You've got to figure out what pace are you willing to set? And if you're willing to set a fast pace, are you willing to stick with it? Right? Don't feel like you have to look sideline and see that they're sprinting and you want to sprint too. Girl, you can sprint all day long, but if your team isn't sprinting with you, you're only going to get so far. Right? And on the other flip side, if you're looking at your eSuite and, you're like, oh, okay, like, I don't know, like I'm close, but I'm not close. And you start to get that fear rise, like you're going for promotion, you like have that anxiety rise. I think it's healthy too, but here's the thing. We never need to define ourselves by a number. What eSuite reflects is just a number. Okay. It is just a number. Where the self-discipline and all that extra stuff comes in, that's separate, right? And it will ultimately affect that bottom number. Yes. But at the end of the day, stop focusing so much about the number and start focusing more on the self-discipline you have. Success is not enrollments, guys. Success is self-discipline. And I think that when you start to understand that every leader, look at every single top leader, you want to know why they stay in the top, ask them. It is self-discipline. They get up, they have a routine to start their day. You can't assume, oh, well, they're at home 24/7 so they can work this business. Yeah, I don't think so, right? I'm pretty sure they're not on their phone 24 hours a day. I'm pretty sure they're not, right? And also to remember when you're looking at those top lines too, especially whenever you guys are pushing for Ruby, you're pushing for Emerald, and you're starting off, you can look at those VIP leaders. You're like, oh, I just want, like, oh my gosh, she's like so amazing. That's great. But here's the problem. Imposter syndrome is really, really real, right? And you've got to be extremely careful about what is taking your joy, what is stealing it, what is holding it captive. Because if you allow yourself to compare yourself to somebody else's chapter 2126 to your two, sis, like you're gonna lose every single day. You're gonna lose every single day. And why would you do that to yourself? That is self-sabotage on another level, right? So I think that you have to really be mindful of that. And if that's happening to you, if you feel that imposter syndrome rising right now, then I encourage you to unfollow people. You can go to their page anytime and look at their posts, right? But you do not have to follow them on the regular for them to pop up in your newsfeed for you to feel worse about where you are, right? That's not healthy, So I guess that would be my tip. I don't even know if I answered the question.
No, sorry. No, it didn't. I love that. And I just love what you said. Also, it's like, it's just about the self-discipline, because I've just been reading so much personal development. I'm reading You Deserve the Truth. And that's one thing. I don't know if y'all have read that, but it's a really, really good book. But and this is a lot of like personal development things say this, but it's who you become in the process. Like that is what matters. And like, yes, like trust me, I don't know if you guys know this, I'm triple diamond. Like I want presidential diamond. So I want that, but like, who am I going to become in the process of going presidential diamond, of going ambassador diamond? That's like what the focus is, not diamond, not ruby. And like, yes, I know you want those goals. I want them for you too, but who are you going to become in the process of reaching that goal? And that's what's going to put you on that path to it. And I think that's basically what you just explained. And I just love that so much. That was so good. I literally have nothing else to add to that. That was so awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your tips with us tonight. I will have this, or this is recorded, but I will have this posted up on YouTube and everything for the recording, and I'll send it in the chat with you guys too. But did you have anything else last minute? Don't want to put you on the spot, but just wanted to give you that time.
I don't think so. Does anyone, I don't know if I didn't even look at the chat. Does anyone have any questions? Like, if not, API. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay. No, I don't think so. You guys, like I said, if you guys are pushing for a promotion, honestly, here's the thing. Push until, so, like you have those checklists. Those are great, right? We have the checklist, we have all the lists, like we have like thousands of lists, right? You can find any list. But remember too, when you're sitting down to actually work this business, I think we can get in a habit of coming from a place of obligation. Has anyone ever felt that way? Like when you're coming, like, okay, like I used to have, like on day one of starting a business, you were like geeked. You were like so pumped. Like no one could tell you anything. Like you were like, yeah, like we're about to do this, right? You're super excited. And then all of a sudden it's almost like reality sets in. People come and go. People, they cancel their orders. And you start to work your business from a place of obligation, right? Instead of like, I get to, it's like, I have to. It hits different. Think about it. Like, oh, I have to message these people. I have to do a story. I have to do blah, 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 right? No, where did it change for you when you used to speak from a place of I get to versus I have to? And if you're in that place, I think you got to stop and you got to reevaluate where you went left. Doesn't make you a bad person. You're human. But I think somewhere along the way, something took your joy, something took your excitement, something took your momentum. And it's easy to get back, right? But I think that it is a result of just long obedience in one direction, action, putting one foot in front of the other. And I think that was my biggest tip as far as like pushing for a promotion. I think that we can get so laser, this tunnel vision. And if you don't hit the promotion, it's devastating for so many people. And I think that, like you said, Cheyenne, it's really, I don't want to say it's not about the promotion, because we know that at the end of the day, we want to promote, but it is really more about who you become in the midst of it. And I think when you look back, you can realize, wow, like I don't, even though it took me longer, I'm so grateful for the journey that I had, because I wouldn't have been able to meet this person, change this way, grow in this way, work on my marriage here, right? There's a lot of different areas in your life. If you allow it to work for you, it can be impactful. But I think if you change the concept of you have to versus I get to, it can hit different, and you may wake up wanting to do this business more so than like feeling the need to like have to. And so I'm not saying it's going to take away the stress of month end, because we know that sometimes it can be stressful, right? But at the end of the day, I think that, you just have to have that long obedience, and remember just why you're doing it, and remember to keep the fun in it, really, honestly.
I love that. And the only thing I just want to repeat from what from what you said, sorry, was, are you working out of obligation or out of that feeling of I get to do this, and long obedience in one direction, you guys? I don't know about y'all, but like that phrase like hit me. So long obedience in one direction. I just love that. That was such a good thing. I could
Yeah.
that. Oh, that was so good. But
Good.
again, thank you so much for hopping on and sharing your
You're
tips.
so welcome.
Thank you to Danielle too. I know you're not here, but I will get this put up on YouTube and everything. And I hope you guys have